Welcome back to the Driven Podcast. Today, I'm talking to my friend, Sandra McGann. When you scroll through her Instagram, you'll see gorgeous listings and picture perfect homes. But behind every photo is a story of faith, family, and focus. In this episode, Sandra opens up about her Texas roots, the legacy of her late father, and how a divine prompting led her to launch a real estate career during one of the busiest seasons of her life. She shares her secrets to powerful branding, authentic content, and why decluttering both homes and priorities has become part of her business philosophy. From her 4 a.m. workout routine to the way she uses hospitality to stage homes, Sandra is a reminder that success is built on faith and relationships, and that never goes out of style. Today's episode is sponsored by Driven Relationships, where business growth starts with genuine human connection. At Driven, we believe that loyalty and referrals don't come from transactions, they come from trust. If you are ready to build lasting client relationships and stand out in a noisy digital world, visit drivenrelationships.com. Sandra, you and I have been friends for a really long time, and I remember the first time I met you was at the Wigwam. Do you remember it?
I do.
Yeah, we were younger. We're still really young.
We were really young then.
Yeah. Yes, let's jump right in. Tell me about why you're in Arizona, why you moved to the what you did at the Wigwam Resort and Spa here in Litchfield Park.
So my husband at the time was the one that we called to renovate hotels and refurbish them and fix them up and all the things. And so we got brought to Arizona to revamp the Wigwam Resort, the historic resort. Whatever.
Yes. So George and you had a huge impact in our community, and the resort went from like mediocre, a 5 to like an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. Like knocked it out of the park. You guys are awesome. When I met you, you were more of a stay-at-home mom in a supporting role for George, which was amazing because you were building all these relationships in our community. Oh my gosh, you invited us to so many wine dinners. We've had so much fun, and you've just done such a good job at welcoming people in. But tell me about why you are in real estate now. How did that happen?
So I come from a long line of real estate family, basically.
Okay.
My father was a broker for 45 years. I grew up with 2 entrepreneur parents. My mother ran a furniture store, and my father was a broker. So I watched him open multiple offices throughout the years growing up, like all over the city. I grew up in San Antonio, Texas. And I saw the hard work that he put in, the grit, the long hours, all the things. So I actually avoided doing real estate like the plague for many years until it found me. So yeah, so I had a really good upbringing with 2 really hardworking parents that were both entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. So I think I've met both of your parents at different points. For sure, I've spent time with your mom. Your dad passed away how many years ago?
2017, so 8 years coming up.
Okay. When he passed away, were you yet in real estate, or were you still in a supporting wife mom role at that time?
So my background is actually in pharmaceutical sales, and yeah, so I did that when I lived in Los Angeles, when I traveled and followed my husband for his career. But in 2016, I really felt the nudge to get into real estate. Both my sisters are in real estate, and like I said, my father had a big influence on my life. And so I got licensed in 2016 when it wasn't ideal, because he was traveling nonstop, my husband, and pretty much saw him like on the weekends for a couple hours here and there. And my daughter was like 5. But for whatever reason, I was like, this is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. And really, I felt like that pull from God to just get in there and get licensed. So that was the start. And then, so he had a big impact on me on getting started, I think.
What was that like when he passed away? Was it unexpected?
Yeah, somewhat. So he's diabetic, so he was sick. He had, the things that come with diabetes, managing your blood sugar level and certain organs start to fail, that kind of thing. He had a kidney transplant. My mother actually gave him a kidney.
Really?
5 years prior to his death.
Oh, that's
So
so beautiful. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. So I mean, to even be a match for him was, I mean, he was too old to even be on the list, but she gave him a kidney, and so we got 5 more years out of that kidney and with my dad because he was in kidney failure for a bit. So yeah, he took very good care of himself, but he was diabetic. So it just had a really big impact on his life. And he died, in my opinion, suddenly. Of course, I'm not in Texas, so I don't see all the things that my family sees, like
Right.
writing on the wall, but it had a huge impact on me because I wasn't expecting it. I thought we had at least, I don't know, a good 10 years left. That's probably not realistic. But yeah, I was licensed at that point for a year, and my dad was a very quiet man. So I was excited about getting my license because I thought that this would be a great way for him and I to connect more, because that was his passion his whole life.
Right. Right. Oh, he'd be so proud of you to see you now and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Would you say your faith played a role in that nudge to go into real estate? You and I have had so many conversations about our faith and that being the number one in our lives.
Yeah, 100%. Because it wasn't ideal at all. It was like, why now? And looking back at it, I even called on you to help me with Brielle for pickups and drop
yeah.
off. I called on several people to help me out because it was my husband traveled, like I said, full time, and so I had to go drive across town to go to classes, and then after I got my license and I was starting my business, it was a lot of late nights. So I put her to bed and then I would go back to my desk for several hours. First couple of years, did that until my husband was finally at home with us a couple of years later. But yeah, looking back, it's like it was such a blessing that I got that nudge because in 2020, during COVID, my husband's position was eliminated. And essentially, it was time to bet on me even more and do something a little bit different to make my business even better. And so I took the steps to do that. But I'm thankful that we had that foundation of that 4 years of me in the trenches and running a successful business at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of stressful. And you can see the hand of God in all of that leading up to that moment. So it wasn't like you were like high and dry with no income. There was something. Although real estate is sometimes up and down, right?
Yeah. And what's weird is I think at the time, I remember saying to myself one time, like, this is kind of nuts, And then when I went through it, I was like, I don't know. It was just like this revelation that I was supposed to be doing this, at this time. And so, and then to be further confirmed when my husband loses his position, it's like, okay, I get it now,
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes when you look back on what you go through, you're like, oh my gosh, I went through that. But I think God gives us the grace to manage everything that we need to go through on a daily basis.
Amen.
And, I think that's why we need to stay focused on being present and in the moment because tomorrow has enough troubles of its own. And we have to every single day give what we're dealing with to God. We need to wake up, we need to show up, we need to work hard, but we cannot control tomorrow.
No.
That is out of our hands. But sometimes it is funny to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I walked through that.
Yeah.
I did it.
For sure. And that's even harder for our A-type personalities. Except like the highly driven, ambitious type, So,
right. But you have to relinquish this control and allow like God, you do what you know to do, and you have to let God do the rest. Like you cannot control the outcome a lot of times of all of this stuff. So I've loved watching your real estate business. How did you start getting clients in the beginning? Was it through your personal relationships? What did you do those very first steps?
So it was a combination. I was sphere of influence. basically from my sphere. Obviously, social media played a big part of that from the beginning. And I knew that I was good at social media already because I had done a lot of nonprofit organizations, supported them, and obviously always posted and campaigned for them as well. So that's the position I would always take when I was on boards.
Smart.
So I should say they assigned me to, but yeah, I feel like that just translated over to, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And you know what? It was scary to like blast that everywhere because you feel like, you know, I used to think this about my sisters being in real estate. You know, you're always having to toot your own horn. And I'm always just like, why are they talking about themselves again? You know, and I would just be like, ugh. And it was very cringy for me. And then I just realized that I had to not care about that anymore because that's how I'm going to get my business and that's how I'm going to get my name out there. And people are going to start to, you know, recognize it. And so when I would get clients, I wouldn't always know the resource and I wouldn't always ask where they came from. But eventually I'd find out, oh, they saw one of my videos or they would comment about something I posted about. And I'm like, oh, it is working, you know? So that, and then also like leads. Once I got into my second brokerage, it was leads within my group. So building the network and relationships. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever do open houses to meet new people and get that kind of traffic, the foot traffic?
Yeah, for sure. It's not something that I leaned into a lot when I first started. To be honest, I didn't really like them.
Okay.
And it's not that I mean, because you know I'm a personable person. I'm a friendly person. It's not, but for me, it just felt salesy. But I learned how to like navigate through that and get better at it to where I would ask the right questions, to where it doesn't feel salesy, and follow up with them. And I really leaned into that in 22. I would say it took me a while to really maximize my open houses to make them work within my business.
Okay. Do you feel like you have a pretty good rhythm now of like how you make your business run? Do you have do you feel like you're really leaning into your referrals and repeat business? Like, is your database that big that you can kind of just massage that and work that? Or do you still feel like you're kind of hustling and trying to meet?
I mean, I would say I'm at 100% referral now. You know, and sometimes it's actually even other agents locally that have referred me that have gotten out of the business. You probably heard this, but last year, 70% of agents sold 0 homes last year.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a rough couple of years for the real estate market, but I lean into my network group, and those just come naturally. I shouldn't say naturally. I make sure to show up for the conventions and meetups to really network and then really to grow those friendships. And then they know me as the Phoenix agent, so they prefer me that way.
Yeah, I think you have to, no matter what business you are in, you have to be building relationships. And I think people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And if you're going to give a referral, you want to be really certain that you can trust the person that you're sending your friend or client to, which leads me to, I get asked a lot, like, who would you recommend for doing videos of my listing? Or who would you recommend to do my branding photos? And I always think of you and your resources. So I have texted you multiple times, like, hey, Sandra, who do you use for a video? Hey, Sandra, who do you use for photos and things like that? So you show up really well with all of your visual stuff.
Thank you.
How do you find those people, and what's your process for making a listing look really good?
A couple things. So one, it's really like about strategic planning with the seller. So when a client's referred to me, whether that's a warm lead or cold, maybe like a friend of a friend or something, I always make sure to meet up with them first and kind of talk about the plan. And I really am very strategic about my timeline in getting the house ready to sell. That means we're going to talk about what needs to be decluttered first.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yep.
I have guides on that. I offer that. And then we also talk about staging, and we literally we set that appointment after listing agreement is signed. And we spend a lot of time going room from room and deciding what needs to be taken out. And I blue tape those items, and then also what I need to bring in. And I have
So
a warehouse.
you personally do that. You
Mhm.
are okay. You don't
Mhm.
hire someone else like a declutterer or a stager.
Nope.
See, this is what I think
So
makes you really special. You're so good at hospitality. You're so good at decorating and creating a beautiful space. So that's really that's an advantage for someone to hire you.
thank you. I think so. I mean, I feel like I've done this for so long that I have an eye for it, and I know
Yeah.
what's going to look good in photos. And I know what's not going to look good in photos.
Yeah.
There has to be that initial trust, like we talked about, like you talked about,
Yeah.
because I don't want to step on their toes, but I want to make sure that they're really open to the process. And if they're
Okay.
not, then I might lean into other outside sources to kind of,
Okay.
but they may not be aligned with me either, if that's the case. Because I usually have no problem with the clients, have no problem saying, hey, she's been doing this for so long. I have before and afters. They've seen my work. They've seen my
Okay.
reviews, all of those things. But I think it's a really important part of the process to make sure that every home shines the best it can. And
Mhm.
to me, staging is like a non-negotiable.
Okay.
You're gonna get your higher price point. And that's the goal for the client. So
So do you have resources if they need furniture or pillows or blankets or candles or whatever? Do you have like storage unit of those things or do you have people go buy things?
I have it.
Okay. Is it your old stuff? Is it like
No,
rented things?
no. So it's just things that I've picked up over the years that I've personally bought for homes to
Okay.
stage them. And a lot of times people also repurpose things in their own homes, the things
Yeah.
that will look good. And then I can find something that pairs well with it from my storage, my stock.
Okay.
And that's kind of how we do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like big furniture items and stuff like that, that's something that is a little more, we have to pull somebody from outside to usually help with that kind of stuff. But most of the homes that I've done don't really require that.
Okay. Okay.
If they
What about
do,
like painting or minor renovations? Have you ever done that or like changing out light fixtures? Or do you just kind of work with what you have and make the most of it?
yeah, mostly we just work with what we have. And then,
Yeah.
a lot of times it just depends on how motivated the seller is. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If they're really motivated to want to like do some of those upkeep items before we get it. And most of them are willing, but I don't usually ask a lot of overhaul,
Okay.
because that's a lot. You're selling,
Yeah.
and we're in a particular market where it's even more important because we're in a buyer's market, right? It's even more
Yeah.
important that your home outshine in all areas, including price
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Do you feel like most people just decluttering kind of gets the job done? Like just a major, like put your stuff away, get rid of probably half of what you own, and then your house starts to look and feel better.
Yeah, it's like literally like I couldn't put a percentage on it, but it's a big part of it, like 75%. So I give them whatever timeline they need, whether that's a week,
Yeah.
2 weeks, and we talk about all the stuff that has to go. And some of them are like, that's a lot of stuff. But I'm like, hey, but you have the time. What you tell me, I'm on your timeline. I'm not
Yeah.
putting pressure for you to do this. This is our ideal timeline. Let's talk about that. And when there's some fluidity, if they need that in order to make
Yeah.
sure that we get that done, because it's so important. It's
Oh my
important.
gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone would love their homes more if we decluttered. Every
Mm-hmm.
January I read this book, The Magic of Tidying Up, the Marie Kondo book.
Oh,
I
I
forget.
love that. I love that
Um,
lady. Yeah.
so I try to read that every January and I didn't read it last January and my house just feels a little cluttered right now.
Mm.
Even just kind of looking at my cabinets, they're getting a little full. I need to go through and declutter some closets,
I
some
need to do that.
spaces. I like my house so much more when it's decluttered. And my
Yeah.
daughter, this morning I went into her room and we kind of got into it over her bedroom. And then I went on a walk with my friends and I came back and her room was completely transformed. And her
Wow.
demeanor was completely transformed. She had a candle going, she had her music going. Her room looked amazing,
Mm,
just tidying up and putting some things away. And it's amazing what that does for your mindset.
100%.
when you work in a tidy space, when you prepare a meal in a tidy space, you just enjoy your home more and your
Oh my
life.
gosh. That hits it right on the nail. And a lot of times my clients are like, I actually want to live in my home now.
Yes.
I love my home now. You know what I mean? So
I
I'm like,
know.
great, we're going to sell it now.
No,
So,
I do have a friend who, she's a house manager. She actually is a house manager for Jenny, one of our mutual friends who's a real estate agent.
mhm.
And her whole, like, she comes in, she'll commit to a family for 1 day a week, and she'll come in and she'll be your house manager.
No, love it.
She doesn't clean necessarily, but she'll
Yeah.
tidy. She will organize closets, and it's a game changer for a busy working woman to
Mm-hmm.
have help, to have another wife at home, having
Mm-hmm.
someone help you because
I
it's
need
so much
to,
to manage.
yeah, for sure. I need to use, I think I've seen her services be posted before. I need to
Yeah.
use that one.
Tina Castro. Yeah. I'm giving her a little plug today without her even
Yeah.
knowing. Um, so I've always just loved your approach to all of how things show up online. How did you learn social media, and can people be at the level you are at? I think you've grown with social media. You've been doing it for years. I think I'm pretty good at it too. Like, we just get it. We
Yeah.
understand social media.
Yeah.
Can people learn it if they're like coming into real estate, or if they're in any business? Can they learn to do it, or is it
No. Absolutely, they can. I think the biggest thing is they have to realize, first of all, they have to get out of their own way. You got to get out of your own way. And
okay?
you got to realize that you can't give a crap what people think about you. Because
Yeah.
you want to show up authentic, right? You want to be
Yeah.
vulnerable online at times, not about everything, but definitely want to show that side of you as well, because you want people to be able to see what it's like to work with you and who
Mm,
you are.
mhm,
So those two things, being authentic. So
mhm,
I
mhm.
think it is something that they can learn. I think they can be inspired by other people and other posts. That's usually how
Mm.
it starts.
Yep.
Obviously, you want to avoid like copying anybody's work, but at the same time, you can be inspired by it and have your own spin on it.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, you do have to be you. Even if your
Yeah.
kids make fun of you, you need to be you. Although my kids have kind of like said things to me, and I've on occasion pulled some things down. They're like, "Mom, that's cringy," or "That isn't you." And I think that's when I know myself. Like, that isn't me. I am copying what someone else did, and it's not landing right. So I do love having teenagers for that. So does Brielle, your teenage daughter, does she ever kind of give you feedback on your social media?
Oh, yes, she does. To her, I'm extremely cringy. And she's like,
Okay.
why did you post that? And I'm like, because I have to, like, it's just part of it. Like, it's just my
Yeah.
job, okay?
Yeah.
And I remember as she was growing up, I'd be like, I don't like being on my phone all the time, but it's part of what I have to do. And I would, of course, have my times when I wouldn't around her. But it's hard because
Mhm.
you don't want your teenagers thinking that it's all about the phone, but it is part
No.
of the job.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and your teenager and her market and her group, they're not your sphere that's
mm,
not your target market. So your target market is other agents
mm,
and your potential clients, which are not 15, 16-year-old kids.
right. Yeah.
It's what, 35, 25 to 75, 85, 95-year-old people. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
agents in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
You were with EXP. You have a lot of luxury listings, and luxury buyers. You stay connected to a lot of agents across the country through social media, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they like what you do? Do you teach classes ever? Would you be up for that?
Yeah, totally. I feel like when you are part of like the group that I'm in, it's called Powerhouse, and then I just launched my own division of that, which is still Powerhouse, but another
Okay.
smaller community within that
Okay.
community. People get
Okay.
confused about that. So we're all considered solo agents, but we also have the support of a larger team, which is
Yep.
collaborative, right? So
Okay.
those are the people that get to know you. Those are the people
Okay.
that really see what you do. We meet with them when we go on these conferences and that kind of thing. So I become their go-to, right? And I literally have, this year I had 10 10 referrals within that group all over the US coming agent to agent referrals. Yeah.
Sandra, that's awesome.
It's literally a big part of my business because I mean, I honestly, yeah, I don't know how people do it when you don't have a referral base, especially in this market, built up like that. So that, yeah, that's become a big part of it. And it's really because we are within this group, and by the way, there's like 700 of us nationwide now. And we're all very like-minded. We're all social media, very progressive in social media. We collaborate on a very high level, not just about real estate, but about a lot of things. And that's more of the entrepreneurial growth mindset, right? So I really think that that has been a big contributor in my success and my growth, especially this last 4 years since I've been with this group. But to answer your question, did I answer your question?
What was my question?
Yeah. I mean, it's just been a game changer for me. It really has.
Okay. Oh, my question was, do you teach classes?
Yes. So within those groups, thanks for bringing that question back.
Yes.
one of the gals in my group, I just taught on how to hire a VA, and she actually is a real estate agent, but she's not practicing real estate. Her husband's a loan officer, which I should introduce you guys, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so she has a group called Clever Collective, and I taught within her group. I'm also offering that out to other agents outside of the brokerage to, because this is something I feel like is a pain point for a lot of agents. We all need to be able to learn how to scale at some point, even if we are just if we're just like, we're a solo agent, we don't need help. Yeah, you need help no matter what, because we wear so many hats. It gets ridiculous,
Yeah. Yes. So I think we should figure this out because I think there's a lot of people who need it. I sometimes think I believe this 100%. I think you should hire out things you're not good at, things that bog you down. I have a whole team of people that I delegate things to. So I manage my own personal social media, but I have someone on my team manage my driven relationship social media, which is awesome. So we will record this podcast. I will kick it over to one person on my team. She will piece it together. She will create the social image to my other person who manages my social media, and I don't touch it past me recording this, which is so nice. If I were doing all of that, I couldn't record a podcast right after this. I couldn't have a meeting right after that. I couldn't do it. So you have to hire out the things you're not good at. But I do think you need to have a general understanding of social media and showing up authentically. And I believe personally that there's a ton of power in you commenting on other people's things on social media. You liking, I think especially commenting on stories because it shows up in their DMs, your name will. And then I also think commenting on posts because then your name will show up under the comments for other people to see too. Which I think there's a lot of power in you showing up in other places because if that person's not following you, they can see you on other people's things.
100%. And it is a huge part of my business. And so much so that my VA actually does the engagement.
Oh, really?
I engage, she engages, morning and afternoon. I mean, and it's still authentically me because she knows how I respond to things and she knows what I say on things. So she'll say the same thing. And a lot of times they might respond and I'll follow up with another response. You know what I mean? So it's a tag team effort. And honestly, that's just because of the nature of my business. I don't always have time to be online as much as I'd like to. And I know that it's a big part of my business. So I make sure that is upkeep, and so she does all the postings too, but we do collaboratively put all of our social media together. That's a big part of what I use her for.
I love that. I think that's so smart. And everyone who is a true business owner needs to look at what they're doing on a daily basis. And if you can hire someone to do it, you need to do that so that it frees you up to really behave like a business owner and not get in the weeds doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Thank you.
And if someone's like when you have a VA that knows who you are and how you operate, that's so nice. It really shows up like you. And
100%. Yeah. And she and I have been working together for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I've put a lot of time and effort into that relationship and vice versa. And at the same time, you want to hire somebody that's better than you, meaning they can do the skill better than you can.
Yeah.
Because they can do it in their sleep and it's not a big deal. And she is like way more organized than I am. I'm not like, I've always struggled with organization. So she can put the spreadsheets together. She can put the graphs together. I'm like, I need help, pull the database for this, whatever. So, and at the same time, we've helped each other grow. And so sometimes people don't always see the value in hiring somebody, especially out of the United States, but it's economical, and at the same time, it's really helped propel my business and grow my business.
I know I could not do what I do without the incredible team behind me. And I always say, hire people that are smarter and better looking than you. And I like stick to that. You have to. And there will be times maybe that they won't ship it out exactly like you would.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that. And then there's other times that they're going to do so much better than you would do.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah. And
somebody else do it.
Done is better than perfect, right? Is that what the saying is done is better than perfect? Yeah. So a lot of times I have to and the funny thing is she tends to be a perfectionist too. And sometimes I'm like, okay, this is done. We've looked at it enough. Let's post it. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she runs all of my back end systems, the flow desk, the correspondence and mini chats and all the things. So yeah.
I love that. So I think you're a perfect example. And so is my friend Rachel Cardwell of you are really good at training and hiring VAs and teaching them to do what they need to do. I have a lot of clients that hire me that are not good at that. They don't know where to start. They don't even know what systems they need to put in place, or they have such big teams that they may have had turnover in this marketing position that they need to hire driven relationships to do it for them. And I have saved so many of the people I work with because they've had turnover, but nothing misses a beat with their marketing because we do it for them rather than this person that comes and goes. So it's awesome that you have a VA that's been with you for so long, is so loyal to you, and that you're good at being a visionary and seeing the big picture and teaching that.
I love that. You said that about me. I never used to think that.
It's so true. It's so true. So, I mean, I've seen it since I first met you with you and George, your husband, and both of you being creatives and this entrepreneurial spirit in both of you to get the job done and problem solvers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you both inspire and support each other in your roles at this point in both of your careers? Are you both pretty involved in each other's, or what's that relationship like?
It's interesting, the dynamic between us, because he's really good at overhauling something and renovating it, making it beautiful again, giving it life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what he said. He's literally 1% of people that can do that in his industry. And he's done that again with the Rancho Luxury Ranch up there. So he and I, we do bounce a lot of things off of each other. I have to always remind myself that I come from a family that was entrepreneurs, and his necessarily isn't, but he thinks like one when it comes to his business, even though he works for a corporation. But yeah, we really do. We're best friends. So I always bounce things off of him and vice versa. And I feel like we do have some ideas that we come up with together, even like business ideas that we've been talking about with each other, even just recently. And it's fun. And I think that who knows what will happen in the future, but he's going to retire sometime in the near future. So he'll have more of the business side from my side, probably influential in his retirement, because he cannot just sit. You know how he is. He is a workhorse, Yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of, for sure we inspire each other.
I love, coming to parties at your house, showing up as, at a social event with the two of you. I just think you're both so good at hospitality and putting together these moments. You always host Bunko around your birthday, which is the month of December. And I just love how it's just like this sweet little 12 people bunko. But it's so elevated and so nice. And George is usually a part of it. whether
A big part of it.
or he disappears as soon as we all get there, but
Yeah.
he has his special dishes that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps you set this party up, right? Like,
Yeah, he's really sort of like, because he used to be a chef. I don't know if you know that about him.
oh, I didn't know that. No. Okay.
Years ago, he was a chef, and hospitality is all about the events. So
Right.
the things that kind of overwhelm me when it comes to that kind of stuff are easy for him. So I'm the one that, like you said, sort of the visionary of how the party will look and the people that will be there and the things that we'll do, and then the things that we'll eat, and I come up with all of that, and then he's the one that really executes.
I love that. So my daughter's graduating in May. I think I need to hire George to just like oversee the whole thing, like make my vision come to life. I think that's what's so beautiful in a marriage or in a business relationship is, God puts two people together and we complement one another. And I think you and George are this perfect example of like vision and execution. But I also think you both have both of those skills. I don't know. You guys are like a really great team. And anytime I have a chance to come to your house to any event, I'm there.
Well, December 18th is Bunko. So.
Okay. December 18th. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the world knows the RSVPs are going to start coming in. Okay. So you've gone through a lot of growth, a lot of change. What is next for you? I know that maybe, and hopefully George will retire and then support you.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it will be in real estate. Real estate really isn't his thing.
Okay.
But it's really funny that you even asked me this question, because I put into ChatGPT the day, like, if I was not doing real estate, what other position would you see me in, knowing everything you know about me?
Ooh,
and it's a lot.
I love that. Yes. I love it. What did it say? What did ChatGPT tell you?
Content branding consultant. So, and to dive a little deeper about creating a vision, what's your why, what's your avatar, who's your ideal client, all of the storytelling around branding, all the things, because I freaking love branding. Like, branding is my favorite. And that's probably why you're so complimentary about my social media and the way I present it, and the logos, and even just recently launching Iconic Agent. I had so much fun, like, putting it together, and the vision and the identity behind it. Obviously it's something that you have to kind of pound out, when you launch something new, and be consistent with it and keep talking about it. And it's something that you're remessaging. It's literally rinse and repeat on social media. That's what you're doing. And people will be like, she just said the story, but some people haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
And well, anyway, go ahead.
Keep going. I'm so excited. I love you.
So I was just like, I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, I was like, okay, people have been telling me this at the same time. And I'm like, what does this look like for me? And it's funny, because my husband was like, that's something I could get into. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. God only knows what the plan is.
God does know. And and you've been showing up, you've been doing the hard work. I mean, you're prepared for whatever God has next. I do think George is doing that same thing. He's doing branding, he's storytelling in these resorts. And in these
100%.
moments,
yes.
that's what you both are doing.
Yeah. And to answer your question you had earlier, that's what's really cool about our relationship, is that we do feed into each other's in that regard. And I can share ideas on, hey, you should do this, with your social person or whatever, and vice versa. And so we are really good at giving each other those inspiration ideas, So.
Love that. That's so nice, because I think sometimes when you're married for a long time.
20 years.
20?
It's going on 20 years, yep.
Oh, congratulations. Me too, 23. I think it's easy to just kind of go through the motions. And I think when you have a shared vision and an excitement, and you're building something together, or even building things on your own and just sharing that with each other, it makes it a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Than just the grind of paying the bills and.
For sure. Yeah.
Because life can get hard and challenging, but when you have something you're excited about and you're building something, it's more fun.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So when you think about legacy, what do you hope people remember most about you beyond real estate?
There's a lot of things, but I think the biggest message is, or what I would like them to think most about is that I love my family well, that, I have a strong faith in God. That's at the center of everything that I do, including my marriage and being a mother. I value that over success. And I hope that reflects in my business as well. Doesn't mean my clients, don't get excellent service. They do, but they definitely know that I have a priority of, not sacrificing success for my lifestyle. And that's important to me, because I feel like a lot of real estate agents out there think that they have to sacrifice that. And realistically, you don't. If you are in the right rooms, you can work smarter and not harder. And, you don't want to wake up one day and regret that you could have done it differently when you should have, when your kids are grown or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, and don't you think we're in a world now too, that you really can control your schedule? I think back in the day, real estate used to take over all of your weekends. And I know it is demanding at times, but I think a lot of people are flexible in this day and age. And if you're like, you know what, I don't work Mondays or I don't work Sundays, I think you can hold to that and that be a non-negotiable, and you can still serve people well.
Yeah. And that is one of my non-negotiables is Sundays. Like I didn't start doing that until probably like 4 years into real estate. And then when I started doing it, I realized that my clients actually respected me more, because I gave them a boundary that was hard. And the only time that I would work on a Sunday is if I was in the middle of negotiations, because obviously that's a priority. There's a timeline on that. Or if I had a client that flew in from out of state and they were there for the weekend, then I would prioritize hopefully Saturday over Sunday. But if I had to bleed into Sunday, then it would. I would just prepare my family for that. But Sundays are definitely my hard. This is my day off, and I won't always respond to messages. And clients respect that. So
I mean, Chick-fil-A's done it. Hobby Lobby has done it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sandra McGann is doing it.
Yeah,
I think it's really smart. I could talk to you all day because I love you and you're my friend, and you make me excited about being a woman in business and creating beautiful things and living a beautiful life. You've always inspired me, but I would love to end this with 2 questions. One is, what's one small daily habit or mindset that you have that helps you to stay driven and grounded? Do you have like a habit or mindset that you have?
Probably too many habits. I'm like a robot. Okay, so I'm up at anywhere from 4 to 5 every morning, and I work out for an hour. That's my non-negotiable.
Okay.
And that's usually when I find like I'm creative. It's not always with a group. A lot of times by myself, and that's when I'm like most creative, and I can think of ideas in my business or new businesses or whatever. And then usually after I shower and all that, that's prayer time, meditation time, and then I hit my desk after that. But I think that the biggest thing is, you have to kind of be okay with the mundane things, because consistency is key in this business, and consistency is key in really a lot of businesses. And it's very mundane and it's not sexy, but it's part of what gets you through at the end of the day to succeeding and all the things that you have to get done, so I guess that's it. The mundane is really the secret,
Yeah.
Grind. Yeah.
I say to my kids all the time, what you do every day is more important than what you do every once in a while. Like the daily habits, they make the bigger impact than like, oh, I did that one time, or I do that once a month. It's the daily.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love to end it with, who has been the biggest influence in your life? Personally, professionally, doesn't matter, but who's been the biggest influence in your life?
Besides God?
Besides God.
Besides God, I would have to say my father. I think you probably know that already. Even though he was a quiet man, I watched him for many, many years support our family, and then just worked really hard. And it's hard that he's gone, because I would really, really love to have this like one-off conversation with him about real estate, but I still do in my own way. Have those conversations with him. But I mean, look at it. All 3 of his girls do real estate. I mean, it's bananas when you think about it. Because come on, isn't there something better to do? But no, he made it fun. Like he inspired us. We saw him have a lot of success for many, many years, and opening multiple offices, mentoring so many agents, like just putting his heart and soul into it. And then even in his retirement years, he still could not stop talking about real estate, and so it's now my passion, which I like literally kicking and screaming was like, no. So I did all the other things that prepared me for real estate, and now it is.
Yeah. Well, I love it. And it's probably good that you did other things too. And it gives you a bigger worldview, being in other industries, maybe understanding what other people are walking through, understanding corporate world.
Yeah.
It prepares you for the ups and downs of everything.
Yeah. Well, I feel like doing pharmaceutical sales, it really helps you to know like what it's like to work a territory, and you have to build those relationships. That's the only way you're going to get in. It's a different world now, pharmaceutical sales. But back then it was like you got in. I mean, I had an all Russian office, and I had to learn how to communicate and sell them my products. And I did it successfully. They only spoke Russian. You know what I mean? It was craziness,
That's impressive.
At Cedar Sinai in Los Angeles.
For you, Sandra.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's been really fun. I know we've only known each other like a decade or around that, but it's been awesome to see you grow and change and just blossom into the woman you are. I love it. We'll have to set up a time to do some social media training for beginners. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you again for joining us today on the Driven Podcast, where we are all about growing relationships in life and business. We hope today's story reminded you that behind every brand, every business, and every big idea, there's a real person choosing to show up, stay rooted, and lead with intention. Your story matters. So keep building, keep loving, and keep doing the hard, beautiful work of showing up in both life and business. We'll catch you next time with another real, inspiring conversation. And until then, never let love and kindness leave you. Always be a fountain, not a drain. And don't ever forget that you are the best.